Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this special extended edition of English Flash Talk. I am joined as always by my co-host. Today, we are embarking on a very important mission. We are creating a masterclass in real-life survival English. We know that many of you are watching or listening to this because you want to feel confident when the situation is difficult. And there is no situation more difficult or more stressful than needing medical attention in a foreign country.
That is so true. When we travel or live abroad, we usually focus on the fun things like ordering food or asking for directions. But when you feel sick, your brain changes. You are tired, you might be in pain, and your ability to process a second language decreases significantly. That is why this immersion is so vital. We want these words and phrases to be so deep in your mind that you don't have to think about them. They should come out automatically, even if you have a fever or a headache.
Exactly. This first segment of our long play video will focus entirely on the medical experience. We have broken it down into 5 detailed stages: the arrival and paperwork, the nurse and vital signs, the anatomy of pain and symptoms, the doctor's examination, and finally, the pharmacy and treatment. Let's begin at the entrance. Imagine you are walking into a clinic in a city like London or New York. What is the very first thing a student needs to get right?
It starts at the front desk with the receptionist. And the most important word for any B1 student to master is the word appointment. I see so many students make the mistake of using the word date. In English, a date is a romantic meeting. If you tell the receptionist you have a date with Dr. Miller, it sounds like you are going to a restaurant with him. You must always say, I have an appointment. You book an appointment, you confirm an appointment, and if you cannot go, you cancel or reschedule an appointment.
That is a perfect starting point. Now, what if you don't have one? What if you just woke up feeling terrible and you need help immediately? You should ask the receptionist if they accept walk-ins. A walk-in is a patient who arrives without a scheduled time. You might also see a sign that says urgent care. This is for problems that are not life-threatening, but cannot wait until tomorrow. If it is a true emergency, of course, you go to the ER, which stands for the emergency room.
Once you establish that you are there to see the doctor, the paperwork begins. This is where the technical vocabulary starts to feel heavy. The receptionist will hand you a clipboard with several forms. The most important one is the patient intake form. This is where you write your personal details. They will ask for your full name, date of birth, and your primary care physician, which is just a formal way of saying your regular doctor.
And then we have the topic that confuses everyone: insurance. In many English-speaking countries, the system is complex. You need to know your policy number and your group number. These are the codes that identify you in the system. The receptionist will ask, "Who is your provider?" This simply means, what company sold you the insurance? They will also check your coverage. This determines what the insurance pays for and what you must pay.
And speaking of paying, you need to understand the word copay. A copay is a small, fixed amount of money that you pay out of pocket at the moment of your visit. It might be $20 or $30. You pay this before you even see the doctor. If you don't have insurance, you are a self-pay patient, and the cost will be much higher.
Let's dive into our first long dialogue to see how this sounds in a real environment.
Good morning, and welcome to the Central Health Clinic. How can I help you today?
Good morning. I'm not feeling very well. I have a 10:15 appointment with Dr. Smith. My name is Oliver Reed.
Let me check the schedule for today. Ah, yes, Mr. Reed. I see you here. Before we proceed, I need to see your photo ID and your insurance card, please.
Of course. Here is my driver's license and my card. I hope my coverage is still active. I just changed my policy last month.
I will verify that for you right now. While I check your eligibility, could you please fill out these forms? We need your medical history, a list of any current medications you're taking, and your emergency contact information.
I see a section here for allergies. Should I list food allergies or only drug allergies?
Please list both. It is very important for the doctor to know if you are allergic to things like penicillin or latex. Also, please note that according to your new policy, there is a $25 copay for today's visit. Would you like to pay that by credit card or cash?
I'll use my card. Here you go. I've finished the forms. Do I just wait here in the lobby?
Yes, please have a seat in the waiting room. The nurse will call your name shortly to take your vitals.
Now, let's analyze that last part. The receptionist said the nurse will take my vitals. This is the second stage of our journey. The vitals are the basic signs of health. This usually happens in a small room before you see the actual doctor.
Right. The nurse is the person who prepares you. They will check your blood pressure using a cuff on your arm. They will check your heart rate or your pulse. They will also check your temperature to see if you have a fever. And finally, they will check your oxygen levels and your weight. You will be asked to step on the scale.
And then comes the famous question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? This is a very subjective question, but it helps the medical staff understand the severity of your situation. If you say 10, you are in extreme agony. If you say 2, it is just a minor discomfort. But it's not just about the number, it's about the description. This is where B1 students really need to expand their vocabulary. Most people only know the word pain, but in English, we have very specific adjectives for different types of pain. Let's break them down. First, we have a dull ache. An ache is usually a constant, long-term pain that isn't very strong, but it never goes away. Think of a headache, a stomach ache, or a backache. It feels heavy and annoying.
Then we have sharp pain. This is the opposite. It is sudden, intense, and it feels like a knife or a needle. If you move your arm and you feel a stab, that is a sharp or stabbing pain.
What about throbbing? This is very common for migraines or injuries. It is a pain that follows the beat of your heart. It goes pulse, pulse, pulse. If you hit your thumb with a hammer, your thumb will throb.
And we can't forget soreness. Being sore is what happens after you go to the gym or after you have a bad cough. Your muscles feel tired and it hurts when you touch them. A sore throat is perhaps the most common symptom in the world.
There are also strange sensations like tingling or numbness. If you sit on your leg for too long and you stop feeling it, your leg is numb. When the feeling comes back, it feels like pins and needles, which we call tingling. Now that we have the pain vocabulary, let's talk about general symptoms. When the doctor walks in, they will ask, "What brings you in today?" This is their way of asking for your story. You need to describe your symptoms. If you have a cold, you might be congested. This means your nose or your chest is full of mucus or phlegm, making it hard to breathe. You might have a runny nose, which means you need a lot of tissues. Or you might have a persistent cough that won't stop.
If your stomach is the problem, you might feel nauseous. This is that horrible feeling that you are going to vomit. You might also have cramps, which is when your stomach muscles squeeze together painfully. And if you feel like the room is spinning and you are going to fall, you are dizzy or lightheaded.
Let's combine all of this into a long consultation dialogue.
Good morning, doctor. Thank you for seeing me. I'm feeling quite run down.
I'm sorry to hear that. I see the nurse took your vitals and you have a slight fever of 100.5 degrees. Tell me, what are your primary symptoms?
Well, it started on Tuesday with a scratchy throat and some chills, but now I have this persistent hacking cough. It feels very congested in my chest, and I'm bringing up a lot of yellow phlegm. Also, my body feels incredibly sore, especially my joints.
I see. Are you experiencing any shortness of breath or chest pain when you breathe deeply?
Not exactly pain, but my chest feels very tight, and I have a throbbing headache right behind my eyes that gets worse when I cough.
Okay, let me take a look at your throat. Open wide and say, "Ah." Your tonsils are quite inflamed and I see some white spots. Now, let me listen to your lungs. Please take a deep breath for me and exhale. Again. Okay, I can hear some wheezing in your lower lungs.
Wheezing? That sounds serious. Is it pneumonia or just a bad cold?
It sounds more like bronchitis, which is an inflammation of your airways. However, because of your fever and the phlegm, I want to rule out a bacterial infection. I am going to order a chest X-ray and some blood work to check your white blood cell count. I also want to do a strep test for your throat.
Will I need antibiotics? I've heard they don't work for viruses.
You are correct. If the strep test is negative, it means it is a viral infection and antibiotics won't help. In that case, we will focus on symptom management. But if it's bacterial, I will write you a prescription for a 7-day course of penicillin. That was a very intense consultation. Let's break down those medical procedures. A strep test is a quick swab of your throat to check for bacteria. Blood work is when they take a small amount of blood with a needle to analyze it in a lab. And an X-ray is a picture of your bones and lungs. And did you notice the word referral? Sometimes your doctor isn't an expert in your specific problem. They will give you a referral to a specialist. For example, a dermatologist for your skin, a cardiologist for your heart, or an orthopedist for your bones. A referral is like an official ticket to see a different doctor. Now we move to the final stage of the medical journey, the pharmacy. In many countries, the doctor doesn't give you the medicine directly. They send a prescription electronically to your local pharmacy. When you arrive there, you talk to the pharmacist. This is where you need to understand the difference between prescription medicine and over-the-counter medicine, or OTC. OTC medicines are things like aspirin or vitamins that you can buy without a doctor's note. Prescription medicines are stronger and more regulated. When the pharmacist gives you your medicine, they will explain the instructions or the directions for use. This is critical for B1 students because it involves a lot of numbers and prepositions. You might hear, take 2 tablets by mouth every 6 hours. Do not exceed 4 doses in 24 hours. Apply a thin layer of the ointment to the affected area. Take this medication on an empty stomach at least 1 hour before eating, and you must be aware of side effects. These are secondary reactions to the medicine. The pharmacist might warn you, this medication may cause drowsiness. Do not drive or operate heavy machinery. Drowsiness means you will feel very sleepy. Other side effects include nausea, dry mouth, or a rash. One more thing to look for is the expiration date. You should never take expired medicine, and check if you have any refills. A refill means you can get more medicine later without calling the doctor again. If the bottle says 0 refills, you must see the doctor again to get a new prescription. This covers the entire cycle of a medical visit. From the moment you walk into the lobby and struggle with the insurance forms, to the moment the nurse takes your blood pressure, to the descriptive dialogue with the doctor about your throbbing headache, and finally, the instructions from the pharmacist.
It's a lot of information, but remember, the goal of this long play video is for you to listen repeatedly. You don't have to memorize everything today. Just let the sounds of these words, ache, prescription, congested, deductible, become familiar to your ears.
We are going to take a small breath here before we move to our next major real-life scenario. If you are at the doctor, remember to be as descriptive as possible. Don't just say, I feel bad. Say, I feel lightheaded and I have a sharp pain in my lower back. Specificity is the key to good health care.
And don't be afraid to ask the doctor to slow down or to repeat a word. Medical English is hard, even for native speakers. You have the right to understand your own body and your own treatment.
In the next segment, we are going to leave the hospital and head to a place that is just as busy and just as full of technical language, the airport. We will discuss everything from security checkpoints to gate changes and lost luggage. Now that we have successfully navigated the medical clinic, It is time to pack our bags and head to our next destination. Imagine the sound of rolling suitcases on a polished floor, the hum of thousands of voices, and the constant chime of announcements overhead. We are at the airport. For many English learners, the airport is the ultimate test of their listening and speaking skills because it is loud, fast, and full of technical jargon.
You are so right. Even for me, airports can be overwhelming. There is a specific language of travel that you need to know. If you're in London, Heathrow, New York JFK, or Singapore Changi, the signs are all in English. If you don't understand the difference between departures and arrivals, you might end up in the wrong part of the building before you even start your journey.
That is the first major distinction. Departures is where you go when you are leaving. This is where the check-in desks and security are located. Arrivals is where you go when you have just landed and need to pick up your bags or meet your friends. Today, we are focusing on the departure process because that is where the most interaction happens. We are going to go from the check-in desk, through security, to the boarding gate, and finally, we will discuss what to do if your luggage goes missing. Let's start with the very first step, the check-in. When you arrive at the airport, you need to find the terminal and then the check-in counter for your specific airline. Even if you checked in online and have your boarding pass on your phone, you might still need to go to the counter if you have checked luggage. Luggage vocabulary is very specific. You have your carry-on, which is the small bag you take onto the plane with you. In British English, they often call this hand luggage. Then, you have your checked bags, which are the large suitcases that go into the belly of the plane. What is the most stressful part about checking a bag?
The scale. Every airline has a weight limit. If your bag is too heavy, the agent will tell you it is overweight. You might have to pay an excess baggage fee, which can be very expensive, or you might have to open your suitcase in the middle of the airport and move your clothes to your carry-on. It's quite embarrassing.
It certainly is. Let's listen to a detailed interaction at the check-in counter. Listen for terms like window or aisle, final destination, and boarding time.
Good morning. Welcome to Global Airways. Where are you flying to today?
Good morning. I'm flying to London with a layover in New York.
Excellent. May I see your passport and your travel documents, please?
Here they are. I've already checked in online, but I have 2 suitcases that I need to check.
No problem. Please place your first bag on the scale. Perfect. And the second one? Oh, this one is slightly over the limit. It's weighing in at 25 kilograms, and the limit for this flight is 23. You can either pay a $50 overweight fee or try to remove some items.
$50? That's steep. Let me just move my heavy coat into my carry-on bag. One moment. Okay, let's try again. 22.8. Perfect.
Great. Are you carrying any hazardous materials, lithium batteries, or liquids in your checked luggage?
No, nothing like that. Just clothes and books.
And would you prefer a window seat or an aisle seat for the long haul to London?
I'd prefer an aisle seat, please. I like to be able to get up and stretch my legs without disturbing other passengers.
I have an aisle seat available in row 32. Here are your baggage claim tags. Keep these safe as you will need them if your bags are lost. And here is your boarding pass. Your flight departs from gate B12. Boarding will begin at 2:15 p.m. The terminal is quite large, so I suggest you head through security immediately.
Thank you. Does my luggage go straight through to London, or do I need to claim it in New York?
It is checked through to your final destination, so you don't need to worry about it during your connection.
That went smoothly, but let's analyze the vocabulary. The agent asked about a layover or a connection. This is the period of time you spend in an intermediate airport before your next flight. If the layover is very long, some people call it a stopover. And did you hear the phrase checked through? This is a very important phrasal verb. It means the airline handles the bags for the entire trip. If they are not checked through, you have to go to the baggage claim, pick them up, and check them in again for the next flight. That is a lot of work. Now, let's move to the part of the airport that everyone dislikes. Security. This is where you see the TSA agents in the US or security officers elsewhere. The language here is very command-based. They aren't trying to be rude, but they are in a hurry. You will hear a lot of imperatives.
Imperatives are bossy verbs. Remove your shoes, place your bags in the bin, step through the scanner. Let's explain the liquid rule because it always causes confusion.
Right. In most airports, you follow the 311 rule. That means liquids must be in containers of 3.4 ounces or less, all inside one clear plastic bag, and only one bag per passenger. If you have a big bottle of water or a large tube of toothpaste, they will confiscate it. To confiscate means to take it away and throw it in the trash. And don't forget your electronics. You usually have to remove your laptop and your tablet from your bag and place them in a separate bin or tray. If you forget, your bag will be pulled aside for a manual search. Let's simulate the security line. It's loud, it's stressful, and the officer is shouting instructions.
Next, please have your boarding pass ready. Do not put it in the bin. Keep it in your hand.
Okay, I have it right here.
Remove your shoes, your belt, and everything from your pockets. All metal items go into the tray. Laptops and large electronics must be placed in a separate bin. No liquids over 100 milliliters.
Does my electric toothbrush need to come out of the bag?
No, just laptops and tablets. Please remove your jacket as well. Sir, is that a bottle of soda in your side pocket?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I had it there. I'll throw it away right now.
Empty the bottle and place the trash in the bin. Step forward, spread your arms, stay still. Okay, you're clear. Proceed to the other side and collect your belongings.
Wait, my bag is being stopped. Why is that agent opening it?
He is performing a random search. Please wait over there. He needs to swipe your bag for explosive residue.
I understand. It's just a routine security check, right?
Correct. You're all set. Have a safe flight.
Whew, we made it through security. Now, we are in the duty-free area. This is where you can buy expensive perfume, chocolate, and alcohol without paying taxes. But don't get too distracted. You need to find your gate. The gate is the specific door where you board the plane. Airports have hundreds of gates, usually organized by letters and numbers, like Gate B12 or Gate G4. You must look at the departure board, which is a giant screen that lists all the flights. On the board, you will see the flight status. This tells you if everything is okay or if there is a problem. On time means the flight is following the schedule. Delayed means the flight will leave later than expected. Canceled means the flight is not happening at all. Boarding means you should go to the gate now because passengers are getting on the plane. Final call is the last warning. If you aren't at the gate in 2 minutes, the plane will leave without you. And sometimes the gate changes. You will hear an announcement. Attention passengers on flight GA45 to London. There has been a gate change. This flight will now depart from gate C9. If you aren't listening carefully, you will wait at the wrong gate and miss your flight. Let's talk about the boarding process. They don't let everyone on the plane at the same time. They call you by zones or groups. First class and business class board first. Then priority boarding for people with special memberships or families with small children. Then economy class, usually boarded by rows, starting from the back of the plane. When you get to the gate, the agent will scan your boarding pass. They might also ask for your passport again if it's an international flight. Then you walk down the jet bridge, which is the tunnel that connects the terminal to the airplane. And then you find your seat. But what if you have too much luggage and there is no room in the overhead bin? The flight attendant might ask you to gate check your bag. This means they put it in the cargo hold for free because the cabin is full.
Global Airways flight GA45 to London is now ready for boarding at Gate B12. We would like to invite our first class and diamond members to board at this time.
I'm in Zone 4. I think I have a few minutes to buy a bottle of water.
Attention all passengers. We are experiencing a very full flight today. If you are in zones 3, 4, or 5, we are offering complimentary gate checking for your larger carry-on bags. Please see an agent if you would like to volunteer.
Maybe I should do that. My bag is quite heavy, and it would be nice not to carry it through the plane.
Now boarding Zone 2 and Zone 3. Please have your boarding passes out and open to the QR code.
Excuse me? I'm in Zone 4, but my connection in New York is very tight. Is there any way I can board earlier to ensure I get off the plane quickly?
I'm sorry, sir. We have to follow the boarding sequence to ensure a timely departure. You will be called in approximately 5 minutes.
I understand. Oh, I just saw on the screen that my seat was changed. I was in 32A, but now it says 12F.
Let me check that. Oh, congratulations, sir. You've been upgraded to premium economy due to an overbooked flight. You will have more legroom and a better meal service.
An upgrade? That's fantastic. Thank you very much. An upgrade is the best thing that can happen at an airport. But now, let's talk about the worst thing, lost luggage. You land in London, you go to the baggage claim, you watch the carousel go around and around, but your suitcase never appears.
That is a nightmare, especially if you have a business meeting the next morning and all your suits are in that bag. In this situation, you must find the baggage service office. Do not leave the airport without filing a property irregularity report or a PIR.
You need to describe your bag in detail. Is it a hardshell suitcase or a duffel bag? What color is it? Does it have wheels? Does it have a luggage tag with your name and phone number?
The agent will ask for your baggage claim sticker. This is the little sticker the check-in agent gave you at the start of the journey. If you lose that sticker, it is much harder to find your bag.
Excuse me. I was on flight GA45 from New York, and my bag didn't come out on the carousel. I've been waiting for 40 minutes, and the screen says, all bags delivered.
I'm very sorry to hear that, sir. May I have your boarding pass and your baggage claim sticker? Thank you. I'm looking in the system. It appears your bag was not loaded onto the aircraft in New York during your connection.
What? So it's still in the US? I have a wedding tomorrow. I need my clothes.
I understand your frustration. The good news is that we have located the bag. It is scheduled to be on the next flight, which arrives tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We can deliver it directly to your hotel or residence.
Will I have to pay for the delivery?
No, the delivery is complimentary due to the delay. I need you to fill out this form with your local address and a contact number. Also, please give me a brief description of the bag.
It's a large, black Samsonite suitcase with 4 wheels. It has a bright orange ribbon tied to the handle so it's easy to identify.
Okay, I've noted that down. Here is your reference number. You can use this to track your bag online. Because the delay is more than 12 hours, you are eligible for a reimbursement of up to $100 for essential items, like toiletries and basic clothing. Please keep all your receipts.
$100 isn't much, but it's better than nothing. Thank you for your help. That was a tough situation, but at least the bag is found. Let's talk about some cultural differences. In the US, they call it an airplane, but in the UK, they often say aeroplane.
And the person who helps you on the plane is a flight attendant. In the past, people said steward or stewardess, but those words are a bit old-fashioned now. Flight attendant is the professional gender-neutral term.
What about the bathroom?
On an airplane, it's always called the lavatory. You will see a sign that says occupied if someone is inside, or vacant if it is empty. And remember, it is strictly forbidden to smoke in the lavatory.
One last tip for the airport. Phrasal verbs. Travel is full of them. Check-in means to register. Check-out means to leave, usually a hotel. Take off is when the plane leaves the ground. Touchdown is when the plane lands. Get on or board means to enter the plane. Get off or disembark means to leave the plane. Speed up is what you do when you are late for your gate.
And pick up. You pick up your bags at the carousel, or your friend picks you up at the arrivals curb.
We have covered a lot of ground today. From the overweight bag at the counter to the random search at security, the gate change in the terminal, and the missing suitcase at your destination. This is the reality of international travel.
The key is to stay calm and listen to the keywords. If you hear gate, boarding, or passport, you know what to do. The rest is just practice.
Exactly. And don't forget to look at the signs. Airports are designed to be navigated even if you don't speak the language perfectly. But having these phrases in your pocket will make your journey much more comfortable. We are going to move on now. We've been to the doctor, we've traveled through the airport, and now I'm getting hungry. I think it's time to find a nice place to eat. I agree. In our next section, we are going to dive into the world of restaurants and dining. We will talk about making a reservation, understanding the menu, dealing with allergies, and, of course, the art of tipping.
So don't go anywhere. Take a moment to stretch, maybe have a glass of water, and get ready for a delicious English lesson.
Let's keep going. Our survival guide continues right now with the social experience of dining out. Welcome to the third chapter of our real-life English guide. We are sitting in a comfortable chair, the lighting is soft, and we can hear the clinking of silverware and the murmur of happy diners. We are at a restaurant. This is one of the most common social situations you will face. But it can be tricky for B1 learners because of the politeness required in English.
That's right. In a restaurant, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Using words like could, would, and may makes a huge difference. If you say, I want water, it sounds very aggressive. But if you say, could I have some water please? You sound like a sophisticated English speaker.
Exactly. Politeness is the secret sauce of dining out. We are going to break this down into the reservation, being seated, understanding the menu, ordering, dealing with problems, and paying the bill. Let's start with the beginning. Getting a table. In popular restaurants, you can't just walk in. You need a reservation. You call ahead of time and book a table. You need to specify the number of guests, which we also call the party size, and the time. And sometimes you have special requests. Could we have a table by the window? Or is there a quiet corner? Or maybe we need a high chair for a baby. Let's listen to a phone reservation.
Good evening, Blue Ginger Bistro. How can I help you?
Hi, I'd like to make a reservation for tomorrow night, Friday the 11th,
Of course. For what time and for how many people?
for 7:30 p.m. and there will be 4 of us.
Let me check our availability. I'm sorry. We are fully booked at 7:30. I have a table available at 8:15, or I can seat you at 6 p.m. Would either of those work for you?
8:15 is fine. Could we get a table in the booth area? It's a bit quieter there.
I've noted that down for you. We will do our best to accommodate your request. And could I have a name and a phone number for the booking?
Yes, it's Oliver Reed, and my number is 555-0123.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. We have you penciled in for 8:15 tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you then.
The host used a great idiom, penciled in. This means the reservation is made, but it is not set in stone. It's a casual way of saying the appointment is recorded. Now, when you arrive, you meet the host or hostess. They are the person at the front who manages the seating. They will ask, do you have a reservation? Or if you are a walk-in, how many in your party? If the restaurant is busy, they might say, there is a 20-minute wait for a table. Would you like to wait at the bar? This is a great way to start your evening with a drink while you wait for your table to be cleared. Once the table is ready, they will say, follow me, please. They lead you to your table and give you the menus. Sometimes there is a separate wine list or a drinks menu. Now, let's look at the structure of a menu. It's usually divided into sections. Appetizers or starters are small dishes you eat before the main meal. Entrees or main courses are the biggest part of the meal. Sides are extra items like fries, salad, or vegetables. Dessert is the sweet treat at the end. and beverages are drinks. And watch out for the daily specials. The server will often come to the table and say, "Before you order, let me tell you about our specials today." These are dishes that are not on the regular menu. They are usually fresh and seasonal. Wait, before we order, we have to talk about dietary restrictions. This is very important. If you are allergic to peanuts, or if you are vegan, or if you need gluten-free options, you must tell the server.
You can ask, is this dish vegetarian? Or, does this contain shellfish? Or, can this be made without dairy? Servers in English-speaking countries are usually very helpful with these requests.
Let's role-play the ordering process.
Good evening. I'll be your server tonight. Can I start you off with something to drink?
Yes, please. Could we have a bottle of sparkling water and 2 glasses of the house red wine?
Of course. Are you ready to order? Or do you need a few more minutes with the menu?
We are almost ready. I have a question about the grilled salmon. Is it served with a side of vegetables?
Yes, it comes with seasonal greens and a choice of mashed potatoes or rice.
Perfect. I'll have the salmon with the potatoes. But could I have the sauce on the side, please? I'm trying to keep it a bit lighter.
Certainly. And for your starter?
I'd like the Caesar salad, but please hold the croutons. I have a slight gluten sensitivity.
I've noted that. 1 Caesar salad, no croutons, and the salmon with sauce on the side. How would you like your steak cooked?
Oh, my husband is having the steak. He'd like it medium rare, please.
Excellent choice. I'll get those drinks started for you right away.
That is a classic question. If you order beef, you must know how you want it done. Rare means very red and cool in the middle. Medium rare means pink and warm. This is the most popular choice. Medium means a little pink, but mostly cooked. And well done means no pink at all, completely brown. And notice the phrase, hold the. She said, hold the croutons. This is a very natural way to say, please don't include this ingredient. You can say, hold the onions or hold the mayo. And sauce on the side is another great trick. It gives you control over how much you eat. Now, what happens during the meal? The server will usually come back and ask, "How is everything tasting?" Or, "Can I get you anything else?" If you need another drink, you can say, "Could I have a refill, please?" Or, "I'd like another round of drinks." But sometimes things go wrong. Maybe the soup is cold. Maybe the steak is too salty. Or maybe they brought you the wrong dish. How do you complain without being rude?
The key is to use the phrase, I'm sorry, but, for example, I'm sorry, but this steak is a bit overcooked. I asked for medium rare, but this is well done. Or, excuse me, I hate to be a bother, but the soup is lukewarm.
Lukewarm means it's not hot and it's not cold. It's just in between. Most restaurants will apologize and fix the problem immediately because they want you to have a good experience. How are we doing here? Is the meal to your liking?
The salad was wonderful, but I'm afraid there is a small problem with the salmon. It's still a bit raw in the middle.
Oh, I am so sorry about that. That shouldn't have happened. Let me take that back to the kitchen and have the chef fix it for you right away.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And could we have another basket of bread while we wait?
Of course. I'll bring that out immediately, and I'll make sure to comp your desserts as an apology for the mistake.
That's very kind of you, thank you.
The server said he would comp the desserts. This is short for complimentary. It means the item is free. This is a common way for restaurants to apologize for a mistake. Finally, the meal is finished. You are full and happy. It is time for the check. Or, as they say in the UK, the bill. You can catch the server's eye and say, "Could we have the check, please?" Now we have to discuss the most controversial topic, tipping. In the United States and Canada, tipping is mandatory. It is part of the server's salary. A standard tip is between 18 and 22%.
In the UK, Australia, or Europe, tipping is more relaxed. Sometimes a service charge is already included in the bill. You should check the bottom of the paper. If it says service included, You don't need to leave more. If it doesn't, a 10% tip is usually appreciated.
And how do you pay? Do you take credit cards? Or can we split the bill? This is very common when you are eating with friends. Everyone pays for their own meal. Some restaurants allow this. Others prefer one check per table. And if you have food left over, don't waste it. You can ask for a doggy bag or a to-go box. You say, "Could I have this wrapped up, please?" Or, "Could I have a box for this?"
That was a delicious meal. Could you ask for the check?
Sure. "Excuse me, could we get the check, please?" Whenever you have a chance.
Certainly. Here you are. Take your time. Would you like to pay together or separately?
We'll pay together. Do you accept American Express?
Yes, we take all major credit cards. I'll bring the card machine to your table. Just insert your card here. And now you can choose the gratuity amount on the screen.
Okay, 20% sounds fair. The service was excellent. And could we have a to-go box for the rest of this steak?
I'll bring that right out for you. Thank you for dining with us tonight. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Goodbye. To finish our restaurant section, let's look at some foodie phrasal verbs. Eat out means to go to a restaurant. Dig in is a casual way to say, start eating. Pick it means to eat very slowly because you aren't hungry or you don't like the food. Finish off means to eat the last part of something. Wait on is what a server does for you. And whip up means to cook something very quickly. We have covered 3 massive scenarios today. We have visited the doctor, survived the airport, and enjoyed a beautiful meal at a restaurant. This is the core of real-life English. But we aren't finished yet. We know that listening is the first step, but shadowing is the second. In our final section, we are going to repeat the most important phrases from all 3 scenarios. But we will do it slowly and with a pause, so you can repeat them after us.
This is where the real muscle memory happens. Don't skip this part. If you want to sound natural, you need to practice the rhythm and the intonation of these sentences.
So, take a deep breath, clear your throat, and let's get ready for the shadowing challenge. Welcome to the final stage of today's immersion. The rules are simple. I will say a phrase at a natural speed. My co-host will repeat it very slowly and clearly. Then there will be 3 seconds of silence for you to say it out loud. Don't just think it. Say it. Ready? Let's start with scenario 1. At the doctor. I'd like to schedule an appointment for next Tuesday.
I would like to schedule an appointment for next Tuesday.
I've been feeling under the weather for a few days.
I have been feeling under the weather for a few days.
I have a sharp pain in my lower back.
I have a sharp pain in my lower back.
Could you explain the side effects of this medication?
Could you explain the side effects of this medication?
I need a refill for my prescription, please.
I need a refill for my prescription, please.
Excellent. Now let's move to scenario 2. At the airport. I'd like to check 2 bags through to London.
I would like to check 2 bags through to London.
Would you prefer a window seat or an aisle seat?
Would you prefer a window seat or an aisle seat?
Is my flight on time or has it been delayed?
Is my flight on time or has it been delayed?
Where can I find the baggage claim for flight 45?
Where can I find the baggage claim for flight 45?
My luggage didn't arrive on the carousel.
My luggage did not arrive on the carousel.
Great job. Finally, let's finish with scenario 3. At the restaurant. I'd like to make a reservation for a party of 4.
I would like him to make a reservation for a party of 4.
Could we have the sauce on the side, please?
Could we have the sauce on the side, please?
I have a severe allergy to peanuts and shellfish.
I have a severe allergy to peanuts and shellfish.
I'm sorry, but this steak is a bit overcooked.
I am sorry, but this steak is a bit overcooked.
Could we have the check and a to-go box, please?
Could we have the check and a to-go box, please?
That was fantastic. If you completed all those phrases, You have just practiced the most important survival structures in the English language.
Remember, you can rewind this video and do the shadowing section as many times as you need. The more you say it, the more natural it will feel when you are standing in a real airport or a real restaurant.
We have reached the end of our 60-minute survival guide. It has been a pleasure to be your guides through these real-life challenges.
Thank you for your time, your focus, and your energy. You are doing an amazing job on your English journey.
Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep flashing.
See you in the next flash.
Goodbye.